Welcome to Effin' Rock, the web show that has just one remit: the bands must fucking rock. Now, the Fuck Download Festival 2011 took place at the Boston Arms Dome in Tufnell Park, a 3-day festival packed full of punk rock bands that you really could shake a stick at. I shook several, actually. I enjoyed it every bit. Now, the main band that I went over to see were none other than Coventry-based rock and roll outfit dragSTER, with Fiona on vocals. You've got Diesel and AC Speed. They are on rhythm and lead, respectively. Alex on drums and Tom AK on bass. Now, these guys are very unique, very different. I really love their sound.
I love festival season, and I actually love it more when it's punk rock, you know. I might not look like a punk, I certainly don't have a punk haircut, but I've always been a fan of punk rock, you know, from the old days to the new school, for the most part, not all of it, but I certainly do like this dragSTER crowd. I think they've got what it takes to go right to the top.
Fiona on lead vocals for dragSTER. Their press release describes her as Betty Page on speed. I don't think I could have described it any better. She owns the stage, and indeed so full of energy. This is somebody who really gets over the fact that these guys are here to rock and roll.
She can deliver the goods. She's got a good range, and a pleasure to watch, without doubt.
Now, of course, Diesel and AC Speed on rhythm and lead guitar, respectively, certainly setting the scene for this band, because really what they have is something a bit more unique than just trash punk rock. I mean, you can hear the rhythm in there with songs like Silent Violence and, of course, Redneck as well. I like that one. They have something special. They've got influences ranging from almost 1950s rock and roll right the way up to the 70s, 80s punk style. There's so much in there, in a sense, and I think that's what makes them so attractive in terms of their music and the quality overall of their stuff.
Well, you know, when I sat down to watch these guys, it was kind of hit after hit for me. Now, punk rock, in a sense, it isn't exactly rocket science, you know, F to G, G to A, back to G, back to F. For the most part, you know, throw an E in there if you're lucky. I'm not talking about drugs either. But, you know, these guys, they kind of do it nice and tight, you know. It's not messy, it's not slippy, it's a pleasure to watch, really.
Yeah.
dragSTER were on the Sunday of the Fuck Download Festival. Now, I certainly think that they could have been on the Saturday night. I think they are a band that could easily fill that hall. Indeed, hopefully, at one of their upcoming dates, I will get a chance to see them headline. And indeed, I know they are on tour over these coming weeks and months. In fact, they're all over the place with Maximum R&R. I think they're even taking it to Canada as well. So proof of the success of this band. I know that if you check them out, you're going to enjoy them.
Yeah, I think those guys could certainly rock Canada dry, without doubt. You know, I've kind of felt sorry for them that with the whole fuck download thing. I mean, obviously a lot of peeps were probably away at the festival, and you know, being a weekend on a Sunday, people are hungover and stuff. But if it was the kind of thing I walked into at a festival, be it a tent or any kind of stage, I think I would have stuck around. You know, I think they've got the goods without doubt. And you know, like I said earlier, I think some punk bands they can get away with the 3-chord trick, but I think throw maybe 4 chords in there always helps.
Don't know about you, but I like drinking on Sundays and sleeping on Mondays. This is Drummonds.
dragSTER are a band that remind me that the word alternative still means something, with influences ranging from the Dead Kennedys to the Cramps and the Misfits. You can hear all of that and more, a unique sound as well. And when they kind of bring on that 50s rock and roll style, that's where, for me anyway, it's all quite new, because I'm not really kind of au fait, if you like, with the kind of rockabilly sound, but to me it's extra fresh having it alongside this punk rock.
Without doubt. You know, the one thing about that whole genre is that it has been done to death. I mean, it has been absolutely buried into the ground, but to keep it alive, I suppose, is the main thing we're looking at with this crowd. And you know, a great name, dragSTER, I think is a great name. It says a lot. It really puts them in that bracket. If I walked into a record shop and picked up the CD straight away, I know that's a 50s rock and roll punk rock band, you know.
I thoroughly recommend going to any gig that dragSTER are at. Indeed, festivals as well is where you'll find them over the course of the summer. But certainly I set out to see a band and I was not one bit disappointed. And that's one thing that I found with the entire Fuck Download. It was just days of good quality bands. And you mentioned there about how, I mean, it's a genre, punk, in a sense that it needs sustaining. I think it needs people to be interested about now, because of course these days it's all about the decks and the dubstep,
and we don't want that for sure. For sure, we don't want that. But you know, I think to make a band that good, it takes everybody. It's not just about the front woman in this case. It's not just about, you know, the rhythm guitarist or whoever's playing lead. Everyone, I think, contributes nicely to this, from the drums to the bass to the two guitars, you know. And like you say, out front, you know, that's a force to be reckoned with.
Eventually, you had Fiona leaving the stage and joining all of us down in the crowd, and that led to some great fan moments. That's something I always like. Of course, last time here on F and Rock, we spoke about the Dog Bones and put them over for the fact that those bands that, well, interact with the fans, they really are, I think, the heart of the music scene. I mean, they know that the fans are who put them there in the first place.
Getting back to, I suppose, Fiona here for a second with this whole deal. A lot of these female-fronted bands, you know, that claim to be punk rock. I'm not going to mention many names with this one, but I will probably mention this Carno from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. You know, they claim to be punk rock. They claim to be influenced by the Ramones and the Clash and, you know, the punk bands. But I genuinely believe that, you know, she's the real deal here. You know, you're looking at a band influenced by the likes of the Misfits and amongst many others. You know, it's not the cliched punk. It's the legit stuff.
In some ways now, a bit of a fashion trend to kind of look punk. You know, shave the side of the head, maybe put on a bit of a fake mohawk. But the people at Fuck Download were real dyed-in-the-wool punks. I mean, you just couldn't fault them for the outfits, the hair, and I think the attitude that they still have to be able to carry this off in a modern day age where it just isn't happening anymore.
That's true.
dragSTER, it's only rock and roll, but I like it. Check out more on the channel, youtube.com/effin'rockyou. Anyway, enough of our yakking.
Until next time, folks, keep it rock.